of trying to name call and demean and divide tries to project as though those things are a sign of strength, when in fact the man is really quite weak. He's weak. It's a sign of weakness that you want to please dictators and seek their flattery and favor. It's a sign of weakness that you would demean America's military and America's service members. It's a sign of weakness that you don't have the courage to stand up for the Constitution of the United States and the principles upon which it stands. This man is weak and he is unfit.
This is the Kamala Harris we need to see, like, everywhere. I love the way, like, she was like, this is a weak-ass man. Say it again, sister. This is a weak-ass man. Like, I was, darn, that shit hype me up. Hype me up. I'm telling y'all, because guess what? Kamala Harris talked exactly how she needs to talk. I'm glad that Charlamagne Tha God was like, you know, people call you scripted, da-da-da-da. You know why? Because guess what? That means she couldn't be scripted, and she just had to talk from the heart. When she started talking from the heart, the real feelings came out. And we were able to be like, I connect with that. Yeah, that's how I was feeling in my fucking head, that he was a weak-ass nigga. But I needed somebody else to say that, too, also. And Kamala Harris did a great job. I appreciate it. Especially, like, drilling in on the Constitution. Like, she laid that out perfectly about the entire, like, y'all, do you not hear what he's saying about the Constitution?
Destroy our democracy. You know what he says he'll do? Terminate the Constitution of the United States.
That's right.
Let me remind folks, you know what's in the Constitution of the United States? The Fourth Amendment, which protects you against unreasonable searches and seizures. The Fifth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. And he's going to terminate the Constitution of the United States, which in most of those amendments, one thing or another was about a movement spurred by black people to ensure that we would be equally protected under the law. Come on.
Because when you look at it, there are rights inside that Constitution that personally help black people. The right to not have unreasonable search or seizure. The right to not to incriminate yourself, because we all know that we be over policing our fucking neighborhoods. The right to vote. The ending of slavery. All of these things are in the Constitution. And he wants to stop the Constitution? What happened to all the rights we gained inside that motherfucker? What happened to all the rights we gained in there? That's what I want to know. But people don't want to listen to that part, though. And I'm glad because she was able to articulate in a different way. She was able to communicate and talk about it in a different way. And I really love how she brought in COVID.
Whether America is going to stand on its principles around the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity and stand with our allies around the world, or whether we're going to admire dictators and send during the height of COVID in the pandemic COVID tests that nobody could get to the president of Russia for his personal use when black people were dying every day by the hundreds during that time.
Yeah, I feel like that one has gone over people's heads, the fact that he was sending COVID tests to Putin.
I mean, you know, your listeners, the people we know, the number of people who lost their grandparents and parents. Remember what that was like during the height of COVID? And a lot of it, people were scrambling for the resources and needed tests. And Donald Trump, during that time, secretly sent COVID tests to the president of Russia, who, by the way, do not forget, in the 2016 election, because I was a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee when we investigated it, targeted black voters in 2016 with mis and disinformation to discourage black people from voting in that election. And this is just another of the very many examples of who Donald Trump really is, and the danger he presents to real people.
Sending COVID tests to Russia, that doesn't sound very America first.
About how he is so in love with dictators that he was giving all of this COVID stuff to dictators when we had black people and white people and just Americans, period, dying here in America. What happened to them? That ain't America first. I thought we was trying to make America great again, and you was too busy trying to make sure Putin could live a little longer, essentially. Man, that should have been his campaign slogan. The way that he was abandoning Americans so that he could give Putin COVID tests and all that other stuff. Like, I really appreciate, like, I can tell them the way I'm talking. I ain't even talking my regular way, because I like the way that she was talking directly to the listener. And I ain't gonna lie, it felt and gave a different vibe and feeling to me, especially being an African American person. It felt more connecting to me, especially with being on there with Charlamagne Tha God. It really, like, this is one of her best interviews she's done yet. And it really connected and resonated with people in a way I feel like we will see soon with the polls. I really love how she focused in on, he is running a campaign of fear while she's running a campaign on hope.
Harris, could you please respond to Trump's claim that he's going to use the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to round up immigrants if he wins the election? This law was last used to put Asian Americans in internment camps during World War II, and I have a sneaking suspicion that if Trump wins, he's going to use this law to put anyone that doesn't look white in camps, and I'm scared.
Yeah, so you've hit on a really important point and expressed it, I think, so well, which is he is achieving his intended effect to make you scared. He is running full time on a campaign that is about instilling fear, not about hope, not about optimism, not about the future, but about fear. And so this is yet another example. Look what he did in saying that those legal immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, were eating their pets. And by the way, the hypocrisy of it abounds, because on the issue of immigration, let's be clear, some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, working with others, came up with a border security bill, which was the strongest, toughest border security bill in a long, long time. It would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border. It would have reduced the flow of fentanyl into our country, which is killing people all over our country of every race and background. It would have allowed us to do more work on prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, which I have done in my career. Trump got word that that bill was afoot, knew it would fix the problem, and told his buddies in Congress to kill the bill. And you know why? Because he would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And he's running his campaign in a way that he does these rallies where people, by the way, walk out, and does these rallies to try and instill fear around an issue where he actually could be part of a solution, but he chose not to because he prefers to run on a problem instead of fix a problem. And we got to call it out and see it for what it is.
And as Black people, we all know about resilience. We all know about hope, the hope to push through to get to that next step. That's exactly what our community is built on. That's the reason why we're so deep in churches, because it's the hope to continue to push through to get to that next spot, to the belief that this is not it. There is more good to come. And I just really appreciate this interview all the way through. And, you know, everybody always be asking her why she just be letting some of the misinformation fly. Like when Trump be talking about her race, and when Trump be talking about her being the border czar and all that good stuff. And I appreciate that she's like, I ain't got time for none of that.
Why do you allow them to call you the border czar when that's not even that wasn't your
I'm
role?
not giving him permission for that.
Oh, you're right. But but I mean, you don't push back on it because that wasn't your role. What?
Fact checkers have made that clear. Look, if I responded to every name he called me, I wouldn't be focused on the things that actually help the American people, and that's my focus.
That is true.
I don't have no time for none of that. I'm focused on the American people, while Trump is too worried about slinging mud and calling names and all that child shit for the playground. We ain't on the playground. This is the American people that I care about. And I appreciate her saying that because it only highlights the inadequacies in Trump. It truly does. Like, it highlights the inadequacies in Trump. I mean, this is Trump who just yesterday had a rally and thought that Marjorie Taylor Greene was a brilliant person.
People, we got to remember that there aren't too many brilliant people around. Not too many, right, Marjorie? Marjorie knows better than anybody.
This is the same Marjorie Taylor Greene that says that the government cannot control the weather. Now, y'all tell me, Does that sound like a brilliant person? Like, I really like that she's been throwing punches. And she's been making sure that they've been aiming. Like, she ain't like Trump rambling and raving and hoping that something sticks in the wind. She has been hitting these punches consistently. And when she got onto the Breakfast Club, she tied all that together to do one of the best. Everything's performative. So I say one of the best performances of really talking to the American people, talking to the Black community, talking to just, I believe this could relate to not just the Black community, because everything she said she would do would also apply to other communities as well. Really getting on our level and saying, like, I understand you're hurting. I understand the things that you want to do within your communities and the things that you want to get done. And I have a plan for that. If you are a community that has not been able to get the loans that you need, so that you can try and start up that business that you've been wanting to start up, but you didn't have the funds to get done. Or that $25,000 you need to just get your foot into owning a home. Because, no offense, if you can pay rent, and most rents right now about $2,000, $3,000, you can afford a mortgage. A mortgage is like $1,000, y'all. $1,125, y'all. And that's on like a $400,000 house. You can afford a mortgage. You can afford a mortgage. And I appreciate her really explaining and making all of the things that she wants to do even more relatable, if you understand what I'm saying. Because sometimes when you hear policies, they go over your head. These policies weren't going over our head. These policies were like, sir, you got a rent. You can pay for a mortgage, but you ain't got no down payment. I'm going to give you a down payment money. And now you still just act like you're paying on the rent. But guess what? By the time you finish paying on this, you will own your home. And I really appreciated her doing that. And you can see why all of these Trump surrogates are getting scared and being like, Trump ain't got to do no more debates, like Jesse Waters said.
Else do we need to see? Honestly, we've seen too much from Donald Trump. We know exactly what he's going to do and when he's going to do it. He's now wiser. He's not going to then agree to a debate that's just going to have no upside. He smells a trap. It's not worth it.
The reason why you didn't want to do more debates is because you call it a trap. It's not a trap. It's the fact that Trump does not understand how to maneuver inside this playground with Kamala Harris. He can't sling mud at her. She's not going to get distracted by a little insult here and there. That shit bounced off. She said, brush it off. I ain't care about none of that. What we about to do is talk about policies. And Trump can't talk policies. That's the problem. He can't talk policies. The most memorable thing I've heard him say this entire 3 months has been that he's in love with a damn graph. I ain't never heard somebody love a graph so damn much. And y'all were mad at Kamala Harris because she liked Venn diagrams. Well, Trump loves graphs. And he's extremely obsessed with Hannibal Lecter. It's crazy. And it's the reason why nobody wants Trump on the same stage as Vice President Harris anymore. Because the debate went so badly, they were like, he is not capable. And I've been telling y'all, he's mentally not fit for office. He's not. If he was my grandfather, I would tell him, Grandpa, let's just play golf and have fun at the resort. This ain't for you no more. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me, y'all. Maybe that's just me. And I think Van Jones summed it up perfectly.
She was comfortable in her skin. She was fluid. She talked about stuff that Black folks really care about. She got to the prostate cancer that's going on. It's ripping us apart. She did a magnificent job. And my only thing is, put her out there all the time. Give her her own radio show. The more you listen to Kamala Harris, the more you understand that she is nuanced on policy. She does know how to make these connections between what people are going through. I just thought she did a fantastic job. That's the best she's done since she ripped Donald Trump apart on the debate stage.
She was indeed very, very impressive.
This was her best interview yet. It was perfect. But y'all tell me how y'all feel about all of this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.